all to be doing it beyond. I just thought it's a fun thing to do in my 20s. I literally started when I was 20, finished when I was 30. And I thought that's a cool thing to do for a decade, you know, and get paid to have your photograph taken and, you know, travel the world. But then I just thought things need to get serious. And that was mostly down, pretty much all down to meeting Millie, my wife, who I met when I was 27. I was still modelling a bit, but I was trying to kind of act. And I was conscious of that thing of model/actor, model turning into actor. But when I met Millie, and I knew the night I met her that I was going to marry her, so I thought, I just have to get a bit serious here. And being serious to me wasn't to continue modelling.
I want to follow on your acting career in a moment, but you say the night you met Millie, you knew you wanted to marry her.
100%, yeah.
Was that your epiphany moment?
I didn't tell her that. That would have been a bit too strong, I think, as an opener. It was definitely an epiphany moment. I feel like you'll have a few of those in your life, and it was yeah. Truth be told, I knew who she was before, and I'd always fancied her. I had this weird thing where I always felt that if I met her, that we would just get on. It's a very strange thing. Something about like her eyes or something. I just thought like we would work. I don't know why. So then when I knew she was going to be at this house party in LA in February 2010, I got up to that house party pretty fast.
Let me ask you something. Do you still tell her this?
I tell my wife I love her 10 times a day. I do. I think that's really important. I don't do it because I think that's what she should do as a husband. I do that because that's what I think. Well,
now that she knows you so well,
yeah.
Does she tell you 10 times a day that she loves you?
7 or 8, probably. I think I get a few, so no responses. So I was going out to LA for pilot season immediately after the audition I had had, or 2 weeks after the audition I'd had for the fall. And the idea was we would rent the house for 4 weeks, and I'd stay out there the whole time, try to get a job. And after 4 days of being out there, committed to this rental property in LA and stuff, after 4 days they called me and said, we want you to come back and audition for Spectre. Now, I had planned to propose to my then girlfriend at the time, so I thought I'd do that at some stage over the month. I ended up having to do it slightly earlier, and we were on a flight within a week back to London, and then, yeah, the rest is history. I was, you know, acutely aware of that. You know, I hadn't read the books before, you know, I got the part, but you couldn't not know about them. You couldn't not know they're this huge phenomenon. So, yeah, I had an idea that it was going to make a splash, but I guess the biggest thing in my head at that moment was that Millie was 36 weeks pregnant when I got that part. So actually all I was really thinking about was the health and welfare of my wife and the baby inside her, and getting to Canada safely where we were filming the movies, and you know, having a healthy baby and everyone being good. That, to be honest, I mean, you know yourself, with, you know, 3 kids, it's that's where your head's at.
How does your wife Millie cope with all the waves of temptation out there for you? How does she keep her head sane with all this attention, this adulation that you receive?
I think we've made life choices that protect us from a lot of what you're saying. We've made a choice to live in the countryside, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and that's where we want to raise our kids. Neither of us are on social media. I think you can. It's a funny thing with fame, or you know, attention, or whatever, you know, public attention, whatever you want to call it. I think you can make it worse for yourself if you choose to, and you can peacock a little bit, and you can be seen at this place and that place, and make sure at this event, and live in this part of town, and be on social media and follow these kind of people, and tweet this kind of thing, and again, like, I'm not, like, you know, if that's the way you want to be, fine. But as I say, I've made a choice for my family, and collectively, Millie and I have made a choice that isn't how we want to be. So I think we protect ourselves from it a bit. And I know Millie has not seen any of the movies. I doubt she ever will. We sort of joke about watching them in our sort of 80s.
Why would your wife not look at you in playing one of the highest profile roles in the world?
There's plenty of sex in those movies. I just don't know why you'd want to watch your husband simulate sex with someone else for, 40 minutes out of an hour and a half movie. I just, yeah, I mean, she's so supportive about the whole thing. She's been with me the entire time we've been shooting them. She comes to set on certain days when we're not doing certain scenes. Her and Dakota have an amazing relationship. They're very close. And, so it supports in every way. Comes to the premiere. I don't watch the movie at the premiere, I always have to go off and do press or something anyway, and I've usually seen it by that point. So it just has served her not to watch them.
Jimmy, what are your biggest fears in life?
Actually, someone asked me that recently, and I didn't have an answer. I don't. The only thing that I can think of is that I fail my family, that I don't provide for my wife and my kids. I feel that I'm in relative control of myself. I don't do anything too crazy to excess, or I feel like I hope I'm a good husband and a good father, and beyond that, I don't really care.